NorCal Sports TV weekly recap show. I'm Dustin Padgett here with Levi, Flores. We hope you're all having a wonderful day. Thank you guys for tuning in. We had 3 games on the schedule this week, Levi. High school football playoffs are starting. It should be a good show.
Yeah, Monte Vista High School versus San Ramon Valley. Quarterfinals in Division I high school playoffs. It's a great game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're getting started off. They had a game earlier here in November at the end of the season, 17-16 final. San Ramon came out on top, a defensive battle, very close game. Both of those teams knew as they were playing that game that they were likely going to match up in the playoffs. So they kind of almost got a warm-up round.
Right, and it's hard to beat the same team twice.
Yes, definitely. We're going to find that out possibly here in the highlight show. See if Monte Vista could come back from that 1-point loss and come out on top in this one. Let's take it to the highlights. Monte Vista will be the road team here. They're the 5 seed due to that loss. And so the 4 seed San Ramon got the home game here. But with these two teams, I don't think the home and road matter too much. We get going here early in the first quarter. No score. Bring on Chase Salisbury for San Ramon. 29-yarder, not a problem. We move on here. It's 3-0 game still. And we got Gavin Cribb. Takes the direct snap and then breaks off some tackles. Gets all the way down to the goal line, but he gets stopped just a yard short. And that was key because the defense was able to hold up for San Ramon and force a field goal here. 28-yarder. 6-minute mark in the third quarter. It's 3-3 game here, Levi. We move on here later in the third quarter. It's still tied at 3. We've got Noah Rivas here with a great 40-yarder, but as you see, the cornerback was able to track him down on the 2-yard line, and again, great job from the San Ramon defense. That's 2 times in a row. They stopped him just short of the end zone and end up forcing a field goal, keeping themselves in the game. 6-3 lead here, field goal from Nathan Price. We move on to the fourth quarter. We're later stages of this game. San Ramon goes for a 43-yard field goal at the high school realm. That's about a 60-yarder, and he was able to make it in, just squeezing it through the uprights. Ties this game up at 6. Now we're down to the final stages of this game. 24 seconds left. Trying to get into field goal range is Monte Vista. They find Connor Schaefer, a 25-yard reception. Here we go. Final play of the game. Nathan Price for a 19-yard field goal. Was able to make it 9-6. They still have a kickoff to come with 1 second on the clock, but as you see here, there was no Music City miracle in this one, as they were able to get him right there with the interception, and that will be the final. Monte Vista coming out on top, 9-6 in this quarterfinal win, as you see them celebrating, moving on to the next round, Levi.
Yeah, it was a great game, and that last field goal, it said 19 yards, although they were at the 19-yard line, which makes it a 29-yard field goal in the end.
Yes, and 29-yard field goal there from Nathan Price, getting the job done. 3 field goals from him, but hey, the kickers were back and forth there. Salisbury, he made a 43-yarder. He was no slouch in this game either. But enough to said about the kickers. They did great jobs. How about the defense for both sides here? This is a quarterfinal game. Neither team gives up a touchdown. And as we well know, both of these teams are offensively prolific teams. How did that happen?
Well, the goal line defense stopped them at the 1 yard twice throughout the game. It's just a great defensive play by San Ramon and Monte Vista being able to stop them.
Yeah, both teams, great job. And San Ramon, they had an amazing season and nothing to hold your heads down about. They played a great game. Came up just a bit short. Sometimes you cannot win them all. Monte Vista wins the rematch and is going to be moving on to the next round. That should be an exciting one. We look forward to seeing what they can do next week. Next game up on our agenda here will be Chabot and Laney. That was also going to be a good matchup on paper. Chabot had been running a little ragged. They had lost a couple games in a row, hadn't been playing very well. Laney on the other side has been rolling through teams. Chabot needed a big win here in this game to be able to continue their hopes to make the playoffs here moving forward in the season. What do you think could happen in this one?
Well, like you said, on paper it seemed pretty even, although Laney 7-2, Chabot 5-4 coming into the game. There's only 1 turnover off an interception during this game, so like you said, it seemed pretty even. Chabot rushing 177, passing 192, and points per game 22 points. Laney rushing 171, which is pretty close to the 177. 161 passing and points per game 27. So Chabot 22 points per game, Laney 27. It does seem pretty close.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. We're going to get to the highlights here and show you guys what happened. Should be a good one. Chabot is going to be coming in, as we mentioned, at 5-4. And Laney was 7-2. 0-0 game here in the early going. Laney is the home team. And we get Dior Walker-Scott from Mackey in the corner of the end zone, touchdown. And we'll be paying attention to both of those names as this game progresses. Now we've got Merle Bass here, later in the first quarter. Mackey again, 15-yard touchdown pass. He's got 2 TDs here in the early going. We move it on. Now we've got R.J. Stern in the corner, and here's a great pass to the corner from Mackey finding his man in the corner. 21-0 game here in the second quarter, but all of a sudden Chabot and Akaka finally wake up a little bit. They do a little trickeration here, a wide receiver pass, and ends up finding the guy for the touchdown, 21-7. Later here in the second quarter, Tanner Wright gets a 13-yard pass in the back of the end zone. Good job from Akaka to find the open receiver there. Had very good pocket presence. But that was the last time in this game Chabot really stayed in it. Tyre Brooks, as we see Mackey get another touchdown pass. They missed the extra point, 27-14 game. And now they start to pour it on Dulaney. Dior Walker-Scott, another touchdown pass from Mackey. They made the 2-point conversion. They've got a 3-touchdown lead. And here's the play of the game. Alex Gonsalves. Watch this, folks. Wow. One-handed catch with a guy draped all over him. Was able to haul it in for the touchdown. Made it 41-14 with the missed extra point. And here, before the end of the game, Gennaro Crawford here gets a touchdown. Makes it 41-21. Final. Laney comes out and shows up here today. They did everything right. Chabot really has been having a rough run of it here at the end of October and November. They've lost now 3 games in a row. Not really competing too well in this game. Let's talk about a little bit about Laney and their quarterback, Mackey. 6 touchdown passes, 450 yards in this game.
That's an incredible feat. 6 touchdown passes. You don't see many quarterbacks doing that at all throughout history. And you saw in there it was mostly passing, so it's just a great run for the offense.
Yeah, Laney, they did a great job offensively here, and they played a great defensive game too. Chabot, as you mentioned, they scored 22 points a game. They came out with 21, which is right about where their average was, but most of those points came after they were already down big. You know, when you're down by a big amount, if you're Laney, you're probably playing prevent-type defense, you know, not necessarily letting them, score, but at the same time, managing yards, letting them get some things in front of you, and at that point, they were able to put up some touchdowns, but they were never really close in this game. They made a comeback in the second quarter, made it a 1-score game, but at that point, Laney just cruise controlled and ended up dominating here, and they're going to be a team to watch out for here in the college playoffs this year. All right, we're going to be moving on to our third game here on the agenda. Should be a good one. It was San Joaquin Delta versus Modesto Junior College. Now, Modesto, we've been following them all year long. Hot team. Velasquez at quarterback. He can run and he can throw. He's a star player for them. They were getting ready to go into the playoffs. This is their final game of the season, and knowing that they couldn't lay an egg versus a Delta team that, has had a rough season, but that being said, you never know what's going to happen when you're playing in the conference, and, it could have been, a bad loss for Modesto here if they happen to lose.
Yeah, San Joaquin 4-5, Modesto Junior College 7-2. Throughout this game, there's 813 total offensive yards, which is a ton for a college football game. San Joaquin averaging 127 rushing yards, 184 passing, and 24 points per game, while MJC, huge numbers, 230 rush, 258 passing, like you said, Velasquez, and 37 points per game, which is a huge feat for a college football team.
Modesto Junior College coming in at 7-2 and San Joaquin Delta at 4-5. Let's go to the highlights. We start off here in the first quarter. Velasquez with a 48-yard touchdown scamper, and he did that all by himself there. What legs from Velasquez. We'll move just a little bit later here, and we get the kickoff return. Alvin Howard to the house. House call there for Howard. Give him an 85-yard touchdown return. Knots it up at 7. We'll move to the second quarter now. Watch this play from Velasquez. Whoop! See you later. What a run, 13-yard touchdown run, but he made that look like a lot more than just a 13-yard run. That was the play of the game. Then we get Lucas Curtis here on the handoff. Just a little quick handoff, nothing fancy about that. Curtis finds his way to the end zone, 21-7 lead. Late in the first half, 2 minutes left, we get Neves in there. That's the backup quarterback. He gets a little bit of time throughout the game as well. He gets a touchdown pass there to Anderson Grover. Velasquez doing it all. You get Neves coming in. Now you get Peyton Bass, who had himself a game. This is his first touchdown run there, 7 yards to Bass, 35-7. What do we have here later? Well, a little bit more of Peyton Bass. Another touchdown here, give him his second run of the game. They missed the extra point, now up 41-7 as this game progresses. Modesto looking real good. Keaton Hampton here gets an 18-yard touchdown pass. Great catch from Hampton from DeMello, make it 41-14. But hey, let's not forget about Peyton Bass. How about this young man? 3 touchdowns on the ground here today, and overall, 48-14, they really had themselves a good game. And finally, we're going to get one more late TD here from Delta to cap off the scoring. A 5-yard touchdown pass from Serrato to Howard. That's the backup quarterback. Serrato getting a little PT at the end of the game there. 48-21 final here, Levi. And what we want to pinpoint on this game, 477 rushing yards for Modesto.
Yeah, they did a lot of rushing. Danny Velasquez and Peyton Bass himself, he did a great job last week as well. 8 yards rush per carry. 8 yards.
Wow, 8 yards a carry, 477 yards. That's more yards on the season that they average in total, and they had that just on the ground in this game, a complete dominating performance rushing. And if you're MJC, you couldn't have drawn up this game any better. Obviously, you got the big win, but you also got exactly what you need going into the playoffs, which is complete cohesiveness from your team from top to bottom.
Yeah, MJC, a great team, 230 rushing average per game, and the 477, like you mentioned, that's just a huge difference per game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's double what they average per game on the ground, and as I said, more than they average per total yards on the season. So, moving forward, they should be looking good in the playoffs. We're going to get to those previews here in a little bit. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back here to the NorCal Sports TV weekly recap show. Dustin, Padgett here with Levi, Flores. We're going to head into our previews for this upcoming week. We've got just 2 games on the agenda, but a couple of good ones. We're going to start out with some ABA basketball. The San Jose Knights versus the San Francisco City Cats.
Yeah, ABA basketball is much different than the NBA. It's much faster. They have a 7-second half-court rule instead, like the NBA has 8, where they have to move the ball faster across the half-court line. They also have this thing called a 3D light, where if you steal it before half court, you get an extra point per basket that you make. So if you're inside the 3-point line, then you get 3 points. If you're outside the 3-point line, you get 4 points. And if you're past half court, you get 5 points, which is a huge difference than the NBA. So, yeah, I mean, ABA is a lot different than the NBA.
Yeah, definitely. Super exciting basketball. I've seen ABA games before. It keeps you on your toes as a fan. You're always excited. You're never having any down moments in this game. It's entertainment-based, but it's also very competitive. It's similar to watching the Globetrotters, except not without the trickeration and the antics that the Globetrotters bring. If you've ever seen the Globetrotters, they actually play some basketball out there, very, very little bit. But the ABA, great basketball, great competition, but they have some extra additives, as Levi just mentioned, which makes it for a super exciting view. If you're a fan at home to watch these games, it's fun to watch because you never know exactly how many points are going to be scored, and full court press comes into play too with this half court 3D light rule. You may put the full court press on all game if you feel like it, or especially if you're down big, it's a quick way to be able to come back. So San Jose Knights, expansion team, brand new to the league. They're playing the San Francisco City Cats. They're the number 1 team in the country. They're a team that dominates this league year in and year out. They were close to champions last year, came up 2 points short in the championship game. To start out for an expansion team early on in your season, as you're just 1-1, your third game, you're already playing the number 1 team. How tough can that be?
Oh, it's very tough, but sometimes the underdogs could come out on top and win the game. It's going to be, I'm not sure what the game is going to be like, but I'm hoping that the Knights will bring it out on top.
Hey, yeah, the Knights, they're going to have to play their best basketball if they're going to want to compete here with the City Cats. City Cats have won their first game by a 40-something total margin, and they're looking really good this year. They've got returning players, Jonathan Fontenberry, Brian Goins, Josh Hatcher, Cardell Butler. All those guys have been stars for their team for quite some time and might be names you want to remember moving forward. Fontenberry is one of their number 1 guys, and he really is a good point guard. He brings the ball up well. He designs the offense perfectly for his team when he has the rock in his hand. Flip it to the other side, you got the San Jose Knights. They've got guys like Aaron Buckner and Lorenzo Graham averaging over 25 points a game in the early season. You got Larry Arpia. You got Falu Indoy. they've got some good players on their roster. So, they're no slouch either. They're not going to be a team that's going to come and lay over. So this should be a good matchup. Hopefully for their sake, they can make this a close game. But you definitely guys want to tune in for that one because it's going to be super exciting. Move on to our next one. This is going to be our football playoffs in the college realm here. This is a super fun game. It's Modesto Junior College versus the American River College Beavers. Local Sacramento team, that's my area. They're 8-2 overall, 5-0 in conference. The Modesto coming in at 8-2 overall, 4-1 in conference. On paper, very evenly matched.
Like you said, both teams 8-2 coming into the game. MJC scores 37 points per game on average, while American River College only scores 27 points per game. Although it's not a big factor, even though it is at the same time where the allowing points per game is too, they allow the other team to score. So that's a huge difference too, as American River College allows 17 when MJ scores 37 points per game. So that's going to be a huge difference, while American River College MJC allows 20 points, while American River College scores 27. So it's going to be a pretty even matchup. And Modesto is the 2nd seed, while American River College is the 3rd seed, even though they're both 8-2. So MJC will have home field advantage.
Yeah, and that home field advantage may mean something big, but ARC, team that's well-known playing on the road in playoff scenarios. A few years back, they had a game where they went into San Francisco City and beat them by 1 point at the end of the game, like 20-19, I believe, was the final. And they were a huge underdog. They were not expected to win and ended up beating them in the playoffs. So you never know what you're going to see when the playoffs come about. This bracket is looking awesome. These two teams played once earlier this year. Modesto won 38-20. On the other side of this bracket, you've got San Mateo undefeated playing Fresno City, also 8-2. Any one of these 4 teams could go on and move on to the championship and win this championship. I wouldn't be shocked if any of them did it. They're all great football teams. This game in specific is this Saturday at 6 p.m. It's going to be an exciting one. You guys want to make sure you want to tune in for this, and maybe one of our best games of the season.
Yeah, and I want to throw my prediction out there. MJC 21-17. That's my prediction off the stats and what the paper says, so hopefully MJC pulls out by 4.
All right, Levi, we'll see if your prediction comes true when we get to it. I know where I'll be on Saturday. Won't be in Modesto, but I'll be at home watching this on NorCal Sports TV with the rest of you guys. We want to thank you guys for tuning in here. I'm Dustin Padgett. This is NorCal Sports TV weekly recap show for Levi Flores. We want to thank you guys for coming, and make sure you tune into our 2 games this week and check us out next week. Until next time.